money in this country with your name on it. Not a metaphor, not a mindset. An actual dollar amount sitting in a government account right now that legally belongs to you or someone in your family. And the system that's holding it has no real incentive to hand it back until you walk up and ask. Across all 50 states, there is roughly $70 billion in unclaimed money and property waiting for its owners. $70 billion. And here's the number that should stop you. The people who track this estimate that 1 in every 7 Americans has some of it. 1 in 7. Look at the 6 people closest to you. Statistically, one of you is owed money you don't know about. This is not a scam. It is not a gimmick. And I'm going to prove it to you in the next 13 minutes, with nothing but official government sources. Today, I'm walking you through the money the government is holding for you, in 3 layers. From the easiest 10-minute search, to the yearly checks that thousands of working families leave on the table without ever knowing. And I need you to stay to the end, because the last one is the biggest. For a family with kids, it can be worth over $6,000 a year. 1 in 5 people who qualify never claim it, and it is 100% refundable, which means you get the money even if you owe nothing in taxes. Let's start with the easiest money you will ever find. Layer 1, unclaimed property. Here's how it happens and why it's so common. Every time a company owes someone money and then loses track of them, the law eventually forces that company to hand the money to the state. A security deposit from an apartment you moved out of 8 years ago. A final paycheck from a job you left. An insurance refund. A utility deposit. A closed bank account with a forgotten balance. A check that was mailed to an old address and never cashed. All of it flows, by law, into your state's unclaimed property fund. And it just sits there, with your name on it, sometimes for decades. California alone is holding around $15 billion of it. And it is not only forgotten deposits and paychecks, old savings bonds that stopped earning interest and were never cashed, life insurance payouts that a company owed to a family that never knew the policy existed, the contents of safe deposit boxes that went unpaid and were seized, jewelry, coins, sometimes gold bars sitting in a state vault, waiting for an heir who has no idea. One state treasurer is literally auctioning off unclaimed gold bars right now. If a grandparent passed, and the family never tracked down every account, there is a real chance a piece of that is sitting in a state fund with the family name on it. So here's exactly what you do, and it is free, completely free. Go to missingmoney.com. That site was built by the state governments themselves, and it searches almost every state at once. Type your name, then type the names of your parents, your spouse, anyone in your family, living or past. If something comes up, the site walks you through a claim form, you prove you're you, and the state mails you a check. That's it. One warning, and it matters. The state's own process is always free. If anyone calls you, pressures you with a deadline, or asks for a fee before they found anything, that is a scam. Real unclaimed property has no upfront cost, and in most states, no deadline at all. 10 minutes tonight on a site the government built. That's layer 1. Layer 2 is the money you're owed for taxes you already paid. And this one has a ticking clock, so pay close attention. Every single year, the IRS sits on more than $1 billion in refunds that people never claimed. Right now, as this video goes out, there is roughly $1.2 billion in unclaimed refunds from the 2022 tax year alone, belonging to over 1,300,000 people who simply never filed a return. The average person in that pile is owed around $2,900. Let me say that plainly, nearly $3,000 on average, sitting unclaimed because someone assumed they didn't make enough to bother filing. Here's the trap that costs people the most. Millions of low-income workers don't file a tax return because they think, I barely made anything, and I don't owe taxes, so why bother? But that logic is backwards, and it's expensive. If your employer withheld any federal tax from your paychecks during the year, that's your money. And the only way to get it back is to file. And even if nothing was withheld, you might still be owed money through refundable credits, and that's where the real dollars live. But the 2022 money has a hard wall. You get 3 years to claim a refund, and after that, the law says it becomes the property of the U.S. Treasury, gone, permanently, no appeals. For the 2022 tax year, that deadline is April of 2026. So if you didn't file for a year, you worked, even a little. That is the first thing to check when we're done here. The money is yours. You just have to raise your hand before the window closes. And that brings us to the third layer, the biggest one, the one I told you to stay for. It's not a lottery. It's not a lawsuit. It is a refundable tax credit built specifically for working people who don't earn much. And it is the single most underclaimed pile of money in America. It's called the Earned Income Tax Credit, the EITC. And once you understand it, you'll be angry that nobody sat you down and explained it years ago. Here's what it is in plain English. If you work, but you don't earn a lot, the government will add money to your tax refund. Not subtract from what you owe, add to what you get back. It is refundable, and that word is everything. It means that even if you owe $0 in taxes, you still receive the full credit as cash in your refund. Most tax breaks only help you if you owe. This one hands you money regardless, and the amounts are not small. In the most recent year, around 24 million families received it, and the average payment was about $2,900. For a family with 2 or 3 kids, it can climb past $6,000 in a single year. That is not a rebate on a purchase. That is a month or 2 of rent, or the entire emergency fund we built in an earlier video, arriving in one check. Now here's the crime of it. The IRS itself estimates that 1 in 5 people who qualify for the EITC never claim it. 20%. Billions of dollars every single year left sitting on the table by the exact families who need it most because nobody told them it existed, or they didn't file, or they were scared of doing taxes wrong. So let's fix that right now. Who qualifies? You need earned income, money from a job or self-employment. Unemployment and benefits don't count. Your income has to be under a limit that rises with the number of children you have, so larger families can earn more and still qualify. And your investment income has to stay under about $12,000, which for most working families is not a concern. That's the core of it. If you work, if your income is low to moderate, and especially if you have kids, there is a very real chance the government owes you thousands. So how do you actually claim it? 3 honest paths, and none of them cost what people fear. Path 1, and this is the one I want you to hear first, because it's free and almost nobody knows about it. The IRS runs a program called VITA, Volunteer Income Tax Assistance, where trained volunteers prepare your taxes for free if your income is under a certain level. Free, not discounted, free. They know the EITC cold. They know every credit you might qualify for, and they will not let you leave money behind. Search VITA site near me. Path 2, the reputable free file software online, which will ask you the questions that unlock the credit automatically. If you qualify, it finds it. Path 3, only if your situation is complicated, a paid preparer. But if you go this way, ask up front whether they charge a flat fee, and never, ever accept one of those refund advance loans that skims a chunk of your own money off the top. The credit is yours. Don't pay a middleman a piece of it if you don't have to. And one more move that almost nobody makes. If you qualified for the EITC in a past year and didn't claim it, you can generally file back returns for up to 3 years and collect it retroactively. That means claiming the EITC could mean not 1 check, but 3. Now the honest part, because this channel doesn't sell fantasies, not everyone owns unclaimed property. Not everyone will have an old refund waiting. The EITC has real income limits, and if you earn a solid middle-class salary, most of this won't apply to you. But if money is tight, if you're the person this whole channel is for, the odds that at least one of these 3 layers has your name on it are far higher than you'd think. And every one of them shares the same quiet, infuriating design. The money already exists. It was set aside for you. The government is legally holding it. And the only thing standing between you and it is a search you haven't run and a form nobody handed you. And ask yourself why none of this is common knowledge. Why the school that taught you almost nothing about money never mentioned that $1 billion in refunds evaporates every year. Why the tax prep companies that advertise during every commercial break would rather sell you a service than tell you about the free one down the street. The answer is the same answer as every other video on this channel. There is no profit in telling you how to keep your own money. The payday lender doesn't advertise the emergency fund. The insurance company doesn't call to say you're overpaying. And nobody at any level of government is staffed to phone 30 million families and say, "You left $3,000 on the table." That's the whole pattern of this channel in a single sentence. The system will not volunteer what's yours, but it will release it to the person who knows to ask. So tonight, before you sleep, do just the first one. Go to missingmoney.com and type in your name and the names of the people you love. It takes 10 minutes, it costs nothing, and worst case you find 0 and you've lost nothing but 10 minutes. Best case, there's a check coming with your name on it. Then tell me in the comments, did you find anything? Because your yes might be the thing that makes somebody else finally search. And if you want to know which everyday banks and apps are quietly charging you fees, you can legally avoid keeping more of the money you already have. That's the next video. Subscribe so you don't miss it. This is the last dollar. Make yours count.